It doesn't take a long time to know that the Pixel 4a is Android's best budget phone because the Pixel 3a was Android's best budget phone. You know, for $349, you still get one of the best cameras on mobile, Android's cleanest operating system, and also a smaller phone that is easier to hold in one hand. The A line for the Pixel is their more budget-friendly phone, but giving you tons of features found on more expensive phones. And some would say that the main Pixel phone just isn't worth it anymore because the A line is so good and it gives you that good camera. And some is me. I feel that. The main thing about the Pixel that makes the Pixel great is gonna be its software. Sure, hardware is important for a phone, but software optimization plays a huge role in these devices. Every year, there are about 2 or 3 phones that makes it hard to justify spending over $1,000 for a phone that relatively feels the same. The Pixel 4a has that effect. You can switch the 4a even coming from an S20 Ultra or OnePlus and not feel like you're missing out. I would say the only thing that feels like it's missing out, and maybe not for everyone, but for me, is the high refresh rate. It's using a 60 Hertz screen, and that may be a phone killer for you, but it's not for me when you're talking $349. Look, we could talk specs all you want, but it's not important for this phone. I'm not even gonna verbally mention it in this video. I'm gonna pop it up here on the side and let you read it if you want. But what is really important is that when I use this phone, it is no noticeable drop off compared to other Android phones that I've used this year. Launching Reddit, bouncing over to Twitter, and watching YouTube in the background. It's just as smooth on this phone as it is on my S20 Ultra, a phone that is 4 times the price as this phone. Since this phone has more modest hardware, battery life is really good. I can't talk about battery life in depth as I've only had a limited time with this phone. I was doing some testing and not really integrating it as my normal phone. But here is a battery graph from Scott Peachy. He's had this phone for over 2 months. He's mentioned how he can get up to 7.5 hours of screen on time and around 20 hours off the charger, which puts it right up there with some of the best phones available. But of course, your miles may vary. The phone is made of a soft touch plastic, and this version is black. It's bland looking, but it feels premium somehow. I'm not sure how they did it, but they absolutely nailed the hardware. But if you do want to jazz things up a little bit, I ain't mad at you. You can get a pastel Dbrand skin for less than 20 bucks. You can make this phone look a whole lot cooler. Dbrand is one of my sponsors, so a big shout out to them. And if you want to grab yourself a Dbrand skin, hit my link down below. Now let's talk about the camera, and that's what makes the Pixel great. The Pixel camera in general is the best camera on mobile. Look, you don't need tons of lenses, you don't need crazy camera, different shooting modes and pro modes and all those things to make an amazing image. You just tap the shutter, and consistently, you have a great shot. My wife's Pixel is a Pixel 3, that is her daily driver, and her images are better than my iPhone Pro Max. The Pixel 4a camera is simple to use and it produces fantastic pictures. Let me nitpick a little bit. They may be over sharp, dynamic range may be a bit extreme, but for social media and actually printing them out, they're great. The front-facing camera portrait mode is just as good as the Pixel 4, which lands it as the best in the business. Even in lower light, it grabs image and separates it from that background. Now, low light imagery as a whole is really good too. It grabs colors and it actually maintains the integrity of the scene. It doesn't over sharpen things, it doesn't over brighten things. It looks like how the scene was. And also there may be a little bit noise, but after optimization happens, pretty much the noise is gone. The night mode is still around and it's still the best around. It can be turned on at any time for some stylized images, or in the dead of night, you can activate night mode and with a steady hand, you can light up the night. Looks really cool. The shutter is still pretty slow, so if I press the shutter back to back, the camera doesn't keep up, and sometimes it even slows down where I miss around 2 seconds of photo. So chasing around my son sometimes is very hard, but when he is still, the images are unmatched. The Pixel is a type of phone that will let me leave my full camera at home because I'm confident that the images that will come out of it will look really good. And I think that is what matters the most. Look, My wife is not a photographer, she's not a techie person, but she still is very confident with her Pixel phone, knowing that if she taps on that face to focus, taps that shutter button, an image will come out that looks very good, no matter the circumstance, no matter the scenario, no matter the time of day. And that right there is the main objective for a good camera. Taking good pictures that's easy to do without messing around with tons of settings, and anyone could just pick it up and shoot. The video portion is a lot better than before. Look, it's still behind the likes of Samsung and Apple, but now it's passable. I would say dynamic range is still a hair off, but overall, you know, it looks fine. And I do think there are some solid microphones inside the camera this time around. Here's the front-facing camera on the Pixel 4a. Listen to the audio. I am outside. It's around 7:30 in the morning. Not a lot of outside sound. There's some birds chirping and maybe some cars in the distance, but overall it should be a pretty clear shot to actually hear what the camera sounds like. I would like to see the video mode get a little bit more love next time around, and this will be just the most complete camera out there, but you know what? I'll take an upgrade. There's a lot more that could be said about the $350 Pixel 4a. However, I've only had it a limited amount of time, but soon I'll do comparisons and speed tests, so be looking out for those videos really soon. Look, hit the link down below and slap subscribe for more videos from this phone and a lot of other phones coming out this year. Full disclosure, this phone was sent over by Team Pixel. I was not paid for any of these statements, nor did the brand see this video prior to this video going live. Kevin the Tech Ninja here, have a great day. I'll let you guys later. Peace.